Treaty Times. Be with the times.
It is my privilege today as the Chair of Multicultural New South Wales Advisory Board to MC this event, which brings us all together to celebrate the significant contribution made by Indian community in New South Wales. It is now my great pleasure to introduce to the stage our Minister for Multiculturalism, the Honourable Ray Williams, to share this welcome segment. The Minister is very recognisable face at many of our community events.
Well, thank you so much, Dr. Harry. Ladies and gentlemen, first of all, can I respectfully acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land on which we meet this morning. Can I acknowledge our Premier, the Honourable Gladys Berejiklian, who I will welcome to the stage in just a short moment. Can I particularly acknowledge a dear friend, His Excellency Mr. Bharmavan, the Consul General of India. And sir, it has been an absolute pleasure, Excellency, to be able to work alongside you together with this wonderful community over the past 2 years. And so thank you so much for your support. You are indeed a tireless worker on behalf of the Indian Australian community. Can I also acknowledge Dr. Harry Haranath, our MC this morning. It is with great pride that we have asked Dr. Harry to continue in his role as the CEO of Multicultural New South Wales, and he has accepted. So thank you. He too, a wonderful ambassador on behalf of Indian Australians, and again, a tireless worker on behalf of this community. Ladies and gentlemen, I know we continue to say whenever we meet about the remarkable contribution that is made by this community. It is quite incredible. The people that apply themselves, that work hard, the business people, a community that values their families, that do work incredibly hard, but also love to come together as one to celebrate. And I think when I look back over the last couple of years at the many, many functions that we together have attended, I made the comment to Dr. Harry that I may have to request to the Premier that we change my title to the Minister for Multiculturalism and Indian Affairs. I think, Premier, that is only appropriate. We certainly acknowledge the 200,000 people of Indian ancestry now in New South Wales, and remarkably, 143,495 that were born just in, and I haven't checked my clock, but that may have gone up in the last 10 to 15 years. And can I say, you are indeed very productive. So congratulations on that. I've said it time and time again, and before I go any further, let me also acknowledge some people who are in this room, or the Premier will scold me. Your representatives in your communities, hard-working members of Parliament who you see as regularly, or if not more often than what you see myself and the Premier. Mark Taylor, the member for Seven Hills, Damien Tudor-Hope, Kevin Conley from Riverstone, of course Scotty Farlow from the Upper House, and my good friend Mark Curate from Oakley. You know, as I know, that these people are there. They are there for you to contact, to support. They are your links whenever you need them back to me if ever I'm not available or the Premier's not available. And I know that they are well respected right across your particular communities. Harry Haranath suggested that our Premier is a very, very decent lady, and she is. And the one thing that she respects, as I respect, are good, generous, hard-working, decent people of values that value families, value their children, and work hard. And time again, I say you are an easy community to support because you personify exactly those values that both myself and my Premier are incredibly proud of. Can I thank you for being here today? I often see you in your backyard, out in your place, but it's wonderful to have you here in our House of Parliament, this great House of Democracy today. Can I welcome to the stage a person who will also welcome you here to this Premier's recognition of Indian Independence Day, the Honourable Premier Gladys Berejiklian.
Can I acknowledge all of my parliamentary colleagues who have been mentioned here. Please know that when we talk about our gratitude to the community, when we talk about our warm feelings about the community, it is sincere. Because as members of Parliament, we have the chance to be with you day in and day out, supporting your communities, you supporting our communities, and it's evident about the contribution your community makes. And so many of you here today are representatives of peak organisations. Behind every man and woman here today are thousands of people that rely on your leadership and rely on your guidance, and we're deeply grateful for that. But ladies and gentlemen, it is a wonderful honour to welcome you here to Parliament House. We do often see each other in the community, but I want to thank Minister Williams, the hard-working Minister for Multiculturalism, for ensuring that we respect your community by acknowledging your Independence Day and generally the contribution of your community here in Parliament House. Thank you, Minister Williams, for the gesture. Dr. Harry, thank you for your leadership. Dr. Harry, as you can appreciate, needs to provide the Minister and myself with advice, not just on the Indian Australian community, but all multicultural communities. It is a big job, and we've given it to someone we trust, and we've given it to someone who has enormous wisdom, and we're grateful for that. Thank you so much, Dr. Harry. But as I look around this room, and with my interactions in the community, I see so many of you who do so much. You share your wisdom, your voluntary time, you sacrifice your family, your own personal time to support the community events. And I know as a previous volunteer supporting my community before I was even elected to Parliament what that entails. Hours of dedication, of sincerity, and it's deeply appreciated because it's reaping rewards. Your young people, your current generation are so proud of their heritage, but also so proud to be Australian. And that is what multiculturalism in New South Wales is all about. Thank you for being here. And I also again wanted to acknowledge my parliamentary colleagues, Mr. Cure from Oatley, Mr. Taylor from Seven Hills, Mr. Conley from Riverstone, Mr. Tudorhope from Epping, Mr. Glenn Brooks from East Hills. Glenn, did we recognise you before?
No,
We forgot Glenn. A special shout out for Mr. Glenn Brooks. Thank you. Hard-working member. Are there any others? Mr. Farlow, who's actually been to India on a delegation from the upper house. Scott's in the upper house of the New South Wales Parliament. The rest of us are in the lower house. And we deeply appreciate, again, those strong connections we value. Welcome again to Parliament House. Thank you for honouring us with your presence. We do regard it as an honour. Many of you have left your jobs and what you normally do to be with us, and we regard that as a wonderful sign of respect, and I hope you feel that respect is repeated back to you this morning. Thank you, and we look forward to seeing you regularly, and congratulations on this wonderful milestone. Thank you.
Before assuming charge of Consul General of India in Sydney in 2016, he served in various capacities in New Delhi. Can I welcome the Consul General to the stage?
It's really a heartwarming news for us, at least those from the Indian community. When I first came here, I remember meeting up with Dr. Harinath in the first week of my coming here, and the first question I asked him was, how long are you going to remain as a chairman of Multicultural in South Wales? He told me around July, August of 2019. Yeah, I told him that it will not be very far from my own departure, so you should stay put. And therefore, I think it's really heartwarming to know today that your tenure has been extended. And I'd like to also personally thank the Premier and the Minister for Multiculturalism for the trust they have reposed in you. Honourable Ray Williams, for being such a great friend to India, for supporting all our activities. In fact, I think your friendship to the community is unparalleled. So therefore, we, in our own circles, actually already gave you that title of the Minister for Indian Affairs. Friends, I've said this before, and I just want to say again today that Australia, and in particular, New South Wales will definitely stand out when we talk about engagement with other communities. Because I can say this because I've served in 5 other countries in the past, and I can say with confidence that the level of engagement, the level of commitment shown by particularly the political leadership in engaging with the community and by extension engaging with India is really, really very deep. And therefore, the hosting of the Independence Day is indeed very appropriate, seeing the level and depth of the relationship which has been growing through the ages. And therefore, we are extremely proud of your achievements. And we believe that in many of you, the image and reflection of the freedom and prosperity which we have obtained since India became independent since 1947. Therefore, I'd like to congratulate all of you for your achievements today. Lastly, once again, I would like to thank you, and I'd like to also acknowledge all the parliamentarians who are in this room. And thank you for your support to the community and to us in the consulate. I know many of you have collaborated with us in the past, and we look forward to continuing to have your patronage. So therefore, today it's really heartwarming for us to celebrate this Independence Day of India in this whole of democracy. And I wish you all a very happy Independence Day in the few days ahead, in the weeks ahead, as we continue these celebrations. Thank you so much.
Dream big, achieve big. Gemco Sydney. Any course, any uni. www.gemcoaustralia.com